Here is exactly how the NASM Personal Trainer exam works and how to pass it in just a few minutes. The NASM Certified Personal Trainer credential, usually just called the CPT, is one of the main entry-level certifications in fitness. It is accredited by the NCCA, which is the standard most gyms and insurers look for. NASM is not the only accredited option, but it is the most widely held, and the exam structure below is specific to theirs. The exam is 120 questions, and you get 2 hours. Now the number that confuses almost everybody. To pass, you need a scaled score of 70 or better. That is not 70%. A scaled score is a converted number, not a count of correct answers, so you cannot work out how many questions you need right, and you should not try. Chasing 70% on practice tests is aiming at the wrong target. Before you can sit it, you need a high school diploma or equivalent, and here is the one people forget: a current CPR certification and a current AED certification. Both and current on exam day. It is the most common avoidable reason someone gets turned away, and it takes an afternoon to fix if you sort it out early. The exam has 6 domains, and NASM publishes the weight of each one. Basic and applied sciences and nutritional concepts is 15%. Client relations and behavioral coaching is 15%. Assessment is 16%. Program design is 20%. Exercise technique and training instruction is 24%. And professional development and responsibility is 10%. Put the two biggest side by side. Exercise technique at 24% and program design at 20% are 44% of the exam between them, nearly half. And notice what those two are. They are the doing. Not anatomy terminology, not physiology theory. Building the program and coaching the movement. People who come from a science background often study the textbook front to back and underprepare on exactly the part that carries the most points. If you do not pass the first time, the retake schedule is a waiting period, not a wall. After a first failure, you wait 1 week. After a second, 30 days. After a third or any later attempt, 1 year. So the first 2 retries come around quickly, but the third gap is long enough that it is worth being genuinely ready by attempt 3. Let's do 3 real questions. First, from program design. A 45-year-old client has not exercised in 8 years, has no contraindications on her health history, and wants to lose body fat. Which phase of the OPT model do you start her in? Phase 1, stabilization endurance. Almost everyone starts there. The model builds stability before strength and strength before power, and skipping ahead is the classic wrong answer. Second, staying with program design. Which acute variables define phase 1, stabilization endurance? 1 to 3 sets, 12 to 20 repetitions, 50 to 70% of your 1 rep max, a 4-2-1 tempo, and 0 to 90 seconds of rest. The tempo is the giveaway on this one. Slow and controlled is what makes it stabilization work, and it is the detail most often swapped in a wrong option. Third, from assessment. A new client's medication list includes a beta blocker. How should that change the way you monitor cardiorespiratory intensity? Use ratings of perceived exertion and the talk test, because a beta blocker blunts the heart rate response. Her heart rate will read lower than her actual effort, so a target heart rate zone becomes misleading. This is a favorite exam scenario because it tests whether you know when a standard tool stops working. So, how do you prepare? Tip 1. Weight your study to exercise technique and program design. They are 44% of the exam together. Know the OPT model phases in order and know the acute variables for each phase cold, because those are pure recall points and they come up constantly. Tip 2. Learn the scope of practice line because it is worth real points and it is genuinely simple. A personal trainer does not diagnose, does not treat, and does not prescribe diets. When a question describes chest pain, dizziness, an undiagnosed symptom, or a medical condition, the answer is almost always refer to a physician or a qualified health professional. Referring is never the wrong answer on a safety question. Tip 3. Practice reading assessment results, not just memorizing them. A large share of questions give you a finding, an overhead squat compensation, a posture and occupational history, and ask what is overactive, what is underactive, and what you do about it. That chain from observation to conclusion to action is the skill being tested. Tip 4. Log every miss with the reason. On this exam, most misses are one of three things: a swapped number in the acute variables, a phase confused with its neighbor, or a scope of practice question answered by helping when you should have referred. Sort your misses into those buckets and re-drill the bucket, not the question. Quick recap: 120 questions in 2 hours. A scaled score of 70 to pass, which is not 70%. You need a current CPR and a ED certification before exam day. Exercise technique at 24 and program design at 20 are nearly half the exam. And retakes wait 1 week, then 30 days, then a year. You can practice personal trainer questions free at .com/en/personal-trainer in English, Chinese, or Spanish with no sign up.